I grew up here in East Tennessee, and I think people who grow up here have a really hard time leaving. And there's reasons for that. The people here are good. It has the same pressures as the bigger world in Atlanta or Nashville. But when you come here and get on this property, you can forget about all that stuff, and that's fabulous. My name's Ed Brazil, and I happen to be the very fortunate owner of the property that you're going to see today. The backstory's pretty interesting too. It goes all the way back to the late 1700s, actually. Tennessee was a land grant state after the Revolutionary War, and big land grant farms were common back in that day, but this was a special place because it occupied 1,100 acres with an enormous amount of lake frontage and river frontage at the time. A fellow named Oscar Hanley, who was a merchant, he was a department store guy in Miller's department store, and this was his place, and he turned it into an amazing property. One time it was the biggest dairy farm in Blount County, Tennessee. He had an avocation where he loved saddlebred horses, and the barn was built in 1902 on a poured concrete foundation, which is unheard of at that time. And the wood in the barn all came off the property. It's all white oak. Those saddlebreds were pretty good. They had a couple of world champions that came out of there. Acquired the property back in 2011 before an auction. And through the years, the family had sold off piece by piece. And this was the last remaining piece. I didn't know at the time if I should do it because I knew it was going to be a tremendous undertaking to do what needed to rehab the place to what its prior grandeur had been back in 1940. And I said, well, why not? I don't have anything better to do, so I'm going to try to get this place back to something special. It was about a 22-month rehabilitation process. The guts of this main house and the guest house are phenomenal.
I'm Brian Valentine. I was the designer on the project. Started by adding some wings to each side of the house to create a master suite on one side, and on the other side, the garages and a batting cage above. And to connect those to the original house, we created some breezeways with French doors and windows, which give beautiful views out to the property when you're moving from the public space into the private areas. We added the master suite to one end of the house, which has a beautiful foyer leading into it, and gave them a nice, quiet, private space separate from the remainder of the house.
It steps out through two double French doors onto a beautiful porch, just getting an expansive view of the whole 20-acre peninsula that's surrounded by Tennessee River and Fort Loudon Lake. And then it came into the bathroom, which is its own entity of itself, a big double shower, lots of space. This is just a real bright space, so in the mornings when the sun's coming up in the east, this room would light up. Come into this big shotgun room kitchen, which you could spend an hour talking about. The guy who was responsible for this was a local fellow named Wade Richardson, and he did all the cabinets. This is alder wood. He hand did all of it. He even created the pedestals that the vent hoods were constructed upon for the stove area. And then stepping into the living room area, there's Wade again, and the mantle, the wood mantle was done by him. And you will notice that he carried the pedestal theme all the way through from his concrete to the real wood.
Upstairs, there were 4 small bedrooms and 2 bathrooms that we needed to turn into the children's area. So we created 2 bedrooms with sitting areas and 2 bathrooms and updated that. We took the guest house and we removed half of the columns that were supporting the patio area there, made the columns larger, and it made a very nice covered patio area. When we started working at the house, we realized that the front fountain, when you pull in, is on a direct access through the center of the house and down to what was the original pool house. Over time, the pool got moved up to the guest house, and so that became a garden in front of it. We took that and developed that into what's called the whiskey house. So when we closed that in to make a living room out of the center of it, we turned one side into a kitchenette and bathroom, and the other side is into a guest bedroom.
Probably some of the more special places for me on the farm are really the whiskey house. It's 800 square feet. And a lot of times I'll just sit there on the back porch, when built a covered porch over that, and sit on the swing bed and just listen to the spring-fed pond spillway just make its noise. It's like having your own little brook out there.
It's just truly special having the Great Smoky Mountains in your backyard, being able to hop on a boat with the family or do a little sunset cruise, do the Vol Navy and celebrate the Vols winning a football game at the same time. I mean, there's just a great sense of community.
The interesting thing about this house is how it's all interconnected together. From the architectural design, to the building execution, to the interiors, to the exterior hardscapes, everything tells a consistent story. And despite the volume of this house, the amazing thing is that you can really zoom in to microscopic detail, and everything is purposeful, everything is planned, and it's executed in a flawless manner. It really follows the rules of architecture, which really makes it stand out and be spectacular.
This place has a personality change that kind of fits the season. It's like it was meant to be here and walk the property and always see something new every day. And it's just a lot of special things about this place.